Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is Saira Mujtaba and with me is Reshma Tiwari, bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment and more. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks to his newly elected Japanese counterpart, Fumio Kishida, says looks forward to working with him to enhance cooperation in Indo-Pacific region. UK government reverses its quarantine policy on fully vaccinated Indian travellers. Tata Sons win bid for acquiring national carrier Air India for 18,000 crore rupees. Journalist Maria Ressa of Philippines and Dmitry Muratov of Russia win Nobel Peace Prize 2021. Prime Minister of Denmark Mette Frederiksen to arrive in India tomorrow on a 3-day visit. At least 50 people killed in a bomb blast in Afghanistan. And Anshu Malik becomes first Indian woman to win silver medal in World Wrestling Championships. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is underway, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a telephonic conversation with his Japanese counterpart Fumio Kishida and congratulated him for assuming charge as Prime Minister of the country. In a statement, the External Affairs Ministry on Friday said both the leaders have expressed satisfaction at the rapid progress in the special strategic and global partnership between India and Japan. They've also agreed on the potential to further enhance cooperation in a variety of areas, including in high technology and futuristic sectors. Prime Minister Modi also invited Japanese companies to benefit from India's economic reforms through greater investment. The leaders also discussed the increasing alignment of perspectives and robust cooperation between India and Japan in the Indo-Pacific region. They reviewed the progress of cooperation under the Quad framework in this regard. The Prime Minister invited Mr. Kishida to visit India at his earliest convenience for a bilateral summit meeting. In a major achievement in the global arena, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has yet again enhanced India's stature and capabilities to make UK mend its discriminatory move and grant permission to vaccinated Indians to travel to UK without quarantine. The United Kingdom has announced that Indian travellers who have been fully vaccinated with Covishield or any other UK-approved vaccine will not be required to undergo the mandatory 10-day quarantine on arrival in the country from Monday. Taking to Twitter, British High Commissioner to India Alex Ellis said, from 11th of October, no quarantine will be required for Indian travellers visiting UK who are fully vaccinated with Covishield or another UK-approved vaccine. He thanked the Indian government for close cooperation on the issue.
From Monday the 11th of October, a traveller from India to the UK, double jabbed with Covishield or another vaccine recognised by the UK regulator, does not have to quarantine. And it's the product of excellent discussions with the Indian authorities. Some of the noise about this issue over the last few weeks just shows how keen people are to travel to the UK, and I'm delighted by that. So let's now open up more flights between the 2 countries. This is a further step down the road set by Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Johnson when they agreed the comprehensive strategic partnership between our 2 countries in May.
More than 93 crore 17 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Union Health Ministry in a statement said that 21,257 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. A total of 24,963 people recovered from the infection in the same period. The recovery rate is currently at 97.96%, which is the highest since March last year. The daily positivity rate is at 1.53%, which is less than 3% for the last 39 days. A total of 58 crore COVID tests have been conducted across the country so far. India and Nepal reviewed implementation of ongoing cross-border railway links and overall bilateral cooperation in the railway sector in the 5th Joint Working Group and the 7th Project Steering Committee meetings in New Delhi. Both sides signed the standard operating procedures for start of passenger train services on the Jayanagar-Kurtha section and the Memorandum of Understanding for final location survey of the proposed broad gauge railway line between Raxaul and Kathmandu. The proposed Raxaul-Kathmandu broad gauge railway line will further boost connectivity between India and Nepal. Both sides agreed to enhance technical cooperation in the railway sector, including in the areas of capacity building, logistics support and training of Nepali railway personnel.
In Bangladesh, Vice Chairman of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP, Abdul Awal Mintu, has said that India must play a role in maintaining a democratic environment in the neighbouring countries as well. In an interview to a local online newspaper, POB News 24, Mr. Mintu alleged that the present government of Bangladesh has made the constitutionally established institutions of the country completely paralysed. Appreciating India's role in the 1971 liberation war of Bangladesh, the BNP vice chairman said that India is a secular country and issues like NRC are its internal affairs. He said Bangladesh should be vigilant that no group can use its land to interfere in India's internal affairs. He also called for strengthening of SAARC, which will also benefit countries economically. On the question of Quad, Mr. Mintu said that Bangladesh does not need to join it. The BNP vice chairman said that if relations between India and China are peaceful, Bangladesh will also be at peace. Tata Sons Group has won the bid for acquiring national carrier Air India. Tata Sons made a winning bid for 18,000 crore rupees for Air India. Department of Investment, Public and Asset Management, or DIPAM Secretary Tuhin Kanta Pandey, while addressing a press conference in New Delhi, said that the winning bid comprises of taking over of 15,300 crore rupees debt and paying the rest by cash.
Tata Sons Private Limited, their SPV, Talis Private Limited, is the winning bidder at 18,000 crore for the sale of equity shareholding of GOI in Air India, in AIXL, which is a subsidiary of Air India as a part of this transaction. Now, going forward from this, a letter of intent will be issued and SPA will be signed with successful bidder.
Mr. Pandey said that an interministerial group comprising Home Minister Amit Shah, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal and Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia cleared the winning bid for Air India on 4th of October. And now let's listen to our special program on Tata Sons Group bid acquiring Air India.
The Government of India announced the winning bidder for the national carrier Air India today. The government's DIPAM Secretary and the Secretary of Civil Aviation addressed a press conference where they announced that the Tata Group has won the Air India bid. Tata Sons made a winning bid of 18,000 crore rupees for Air India. Department of Investment, Public and Asset Management DIPAM Secretary Tuhin Kanta Pandey, while addressing a press conference in New Delhi, said that the winning bid comprises of taking over of 15,300 crore rupees debt and paying rest by cash. He added that apart from 100% stake in Air India and its low-cost arm Air India Express, the winning bid also includes a 50% stake in ground handling company Air India SATS Airport Services Private Limited AISATS.
The financial bids were opened by interministerial group in presence of bidders on 29 September 2021. So the Tata Sons Private Limited, their SPV, Talis Private Limited, is bidder at 18,000 crore. The second bidder was consortium led by Shri Ajay Singh. This is a consortium, not a individual sole bid. These are the bid received. Both bidders quoted well over the reserve price. IMG recommended accepting the H1 bid, which was agreed to by the CGT and recommended to ISM. ISM approved the price bid in their meeting on 4th October 2021. So, Talis Private Limited, which is basically Tata Sons SPV, has emerged as a successful bidder for the sale of equity shareholding of GOI in Air India, in AIXL, which is a subsidiary of Air India as a part of this transaction, and 50% of Air India in AISATS, which is another joint venture of Air India, along with management control. The transaction does not include non-core assets, including land and building, valued at 14,718 crore. These are not being part of the transaction. These are being transferred to Government of India's AIAHL. It includes Nariman Point, Air India headquarters here, some other buildings. There are subsidiaries where Air India has investments. These will be hived off.
Mr. Pandey said that an interministerial group comprising Home Minister Amit Shah, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal and Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia cleared the winning bid for Air India on the 4th of October. Mr. Pandey said that the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had said in her Union Budget speech that the Government of India aims to complete the Air India divestment in the financial year 2022. He said the competitive process has been carried out in a transparent manner.
Many things that we had bid criteria which were actually changed. In the initial, the first round, we were actually retaining 26% with us. So it was not 100% sale. The second was the construct was their equity value. The third, the debt was prefixed. Then the current liabilities issues had not been really clarified on that because there is a lot of current assets and current liabilities gap. And then there were other conditions which were also, relating to merger and other things which were not really clear. So I think these points have been then subsequently taken care of while we did the construct. And I think the enterprise value construct was important in this case because the Air India had very excessive debt, which we are all aware that this debt is not really a debt for which the underlying assets are there. This debt has come about because of continuous losses which the Air India has borne. I mean, the losses are in excess of 70,000 crore. And they have actually been funded through this debt, which has been government guaranteed. So because of this excess debt, there was no scope. It had to be hived off. But how much of the amount to be hived off was to be determined through the market in this EB process rather than we taking any a priori view of the debt.
DIPAM Secretary Tuhin Kanta Pandey said that Air India currently loses rupees 20 crore per day. The Air India has been reeling under a massive debt that stands close to rupees 70,000 crores. DIPAM Secretary said total debt at the end of August this year was rupees 65,562 crores. He said a total debt of rupees 46,262 crores will remain after the bidder takeover, which will go to AIAHL.
We are right now, Air India is having losses 20 crores a day. So those losses after handover will not come to the taxpayers. Okay, let me come to the debt position. See, the debt as on March 31, 2021 is 44,781 crore in the books of AI. And there is a debt also on the books of AIXL. Combined debt of AI and XL as on March 31, 2021 is 46,239 crore. The total debt as on August 31, 2021 will be 61,562 crores. Out of that, the debt which will be taken over by the successful bidder will be 15,300 crore. As you said, that 18,000 crore is the bid, of which 15% consideration will be cash and 85% will be debt. So 15,300 crore will be taken off. So debt position after debt taken over by the successful bidder will remain 46,262 crores. That is the debt which is remaining. This is going to the AIAHL. 46,262 crore. The airline will get the debt of 15,300 crore because that is the construct. You quote the debt you are going to take and the rest will be hived off.
The DIPAM Secretary said that the government has put in rupees 54,584 crores since 2009 and 10 as cash support and rupees 55,692 crores as guarantee support for Air India, which is a total of rupees 1,10,276 crores.
I would like to highlight here an important point. What is it that the government has put in Air India since 2009 and 10? The government has put in 54,584 crore as cash support. Since 2009-10, I'm telling, not prior to that. And 55,692 crore as guarantee support. So, in total, government support since 2009-10 has been 1,10,276 crore. And largely, if you say, because if you have year after year after year after losses, so all these losses have actually been funded, some part from the equity, which was a minor part, largely through the government guaranteed debt. So therefore, actually, if you look at it, that there are no underlying assets as such, because this is all loss which has been funded through the debt which is guaranteed by the government. So the taxpayers have actually, put in 1,10,276 crore in Air India since 2009 and 10.
On the issue of retaining employees of Air India, Civil Aviation Secretary Rajiv Bansal assured that no employees will be retrenched and the Tata Sons will have to retain all the employees of the national carrier for 1 year, and in the second year, if someone is to be retrenched, then a VRS option has to be given.
The government has addressed all the concerns of the employees. I'll point out some of the concerns here. First and foremost, the winning bidder will retain all employees, which means they will not retrench anybody for a period of 1 year. Thereafter, for the second year after the first year, they will retain all the employees, and if anybody is to be retrenched or removed, they will be offered a VRS. These are the two protections to the employees in terms of their employment. Thirdly, they will be provided the gratuity benefits as well as the provident fund benefits as per the applicable laws of the land. And the post-retirement medical benefits of the employees, those who have retired as well as those who will be retiring in future, will be protected and provided by the government. There are other smaller issues also which the government has considered, and all the concerns of the employees have been catered to.
The reserve price set by the government for Air India was rupees 12,906 crore. The DIPAM secretary said both the bids were above the reserve price. DIPAM secretary said that the complete handover of Air India to the Tata Sons will be around December 2021. By December this year, the government will get the consideration and shares will be transferred to Tata Sons.
By December 2021, we want to close the transaction, and the closing would actually mean, the date of closing would mean that we will get the consideration and they will get the shares. In 5 years, we are saying that after 5 years, they can actually transfer. Brand is for them, so they can use it the way they like. But after 5 years, they can transfer, but they cannot transfer to anybody other than Indian person. Which means Indian person, when I say person, it includes not only natural person, also the legal person. So therefore, it cannot go to any foreign entity. Regarding the question on flexibility, that is there. As per the contract, they are, because 100% shares are being passed on, but there is a business continuity clause in the bid in the conditions for 3 years. So there has to be a business continuity. But otherwise, operational freedom, yes, it has been given operational freedom.
Earlier too, Tata Group had run Air India before it was nationalized. The Tata Group-Air India relationship went back to 1932 when legendary industrialist Jahangir Ratanji Dadaboy had launched the national carrier. The airline soon expanded to passenger aircraft, and in 1938 it started flying overseas, with Colombo being added to its list of destinations. The name of the airlines was changed to Tata Air Services and later to Tata Airlines. The legendary airline flew support missions for the British Royal Air Force during the World War II in Burma. Once the war was finished, the airline changed its name to Air India. The central government soon took interest in Air India and bought 49% stake in it. With the Air Corporations Act in 1953, the government took over the company from Tata Sons and nationalized it. Now, in view of the mounting debt, the union government once again had invited bids for the strategic disinvestment of 100% stake of the government in the airline last year. It also included a 100% stake in Air India Express Limited and a 50% stake in Air India SATS. After emerging as the successful bidder for the loss-making state-owned Air India, Tata Sons chairman N. Chandrasekaran in a statement said, Tata Group is delighted to be declared as the winner of the bid for Air India and termed it as a historic moment and said, it will be a rare privilege for Tata Group to own and operate the country's flag-bearer airline. In a tweet, Tata Sons chairman emeritus Ratan Tata also expressed his happiness on Tata's winning the bid, saying, welcome back Air India. He added that it will take considerable effort to rebuild Air India. Union Minister of Civil Aviation Jyotiraditya Scindia in a tweet wished the new management and said, it marks a new dawn for the airline.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. Prime Minister of Denmark, Mette Frederiksen, will be on a 3-day visit to India from tomorrow. During the visit, Ms. Frederiksen will call on President Ramnath Kovind and hold bilateral talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The visit by the Danish Prime Minister will give both sides an opportunity to discuss the entire gamut of bilateral relations and review the progress in implementation of the Green Strategic Partnership. The Nobel Peace Prize awarded today to journalists Maria Ressa of Philippines and Dmitry Muratov of Russia for their fight for freedom of expression in their countries. The pair were honored for their efforts to safeguard freedom of expression, which is a precondition for democracy and lasting peace, said the chairwoman of the Norwegian Nobel Committee, Berit Reiss-Andersen. They are representatives of all fearless journalists who stand up for truth in a world in which democracy and freedom of the press face increasingly adverse conditions, she said.
At least 50 people were killed today in a bomb attack on worshippers at a Shiite mosque in the Afghan city of Kunduz. In one of the bloodiest assaults since US forces left the country, 50 were left dead and more than 50 were wounded, according to reports. Taliban spokesman Zabiullah Mujahid had earlier said an unknown number of people had been killed and injured when an explosion took place in a mosque of our Shiite compatriots in Kunduz. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the attack, but the Islamic State group, arch rival of the Taliban, has claimed similar recent atrocities. Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen has said that the country does not seek military confrontation, but will do whatever it takes to defend itself. According to a private news agency, Mr. Ing-wen made this statement today amid high tensions in the country over the latest hostile policies initiated by Beijing and the Xi Jinping-led regime in the recent years. Earlier, Taiwan's defense minister expressed concerns that China could launch full-scale invasion as early as 2025. China claims the democratic island of Taiwan as its own territory and says it should be taken by force if necessary. Taiwan resists, saying it is an independent country and will defend its freedom and democracy in the face of China's aggression.
The Chinese government has ordered the coal-producing regions to act immediately to expand their annual production capacity as China battles its worst power crunch and coal shortage in years amid all the efforts to tackle the climate crisis. Increased demand for winter heating, slumped coal production, the record high coal prices and regulated power tariffs have caused massive electricity shortages that have prompted power rationing across the country, crippling industrial output and sending normal life to disarray in some parts. This may also cause major disruptions in the production of Christmas retail goods across the global supply chains. As coal prices continue to rise, more power plants are finding it difficult to operate and even face shutting down. More than a dozen U.S. sailors have been injured after a nuclear submarine hit an unknown object while operating in international waters in the Indo-Pacific region. U.S. officials said 15 sailors received minor injuries when the USS Connecticut collided with the object on Saturday. They added that it was unclear what had caused the collision. The incident comes as tensions mount over a recent uptick of Chinese incursions into Taiwan's air defense zone. Taking to Twitter, the U.S. Navy's Pacific Fleet said the submarine remains in a safe and stable condition. It said USS Connecticut's nuclear propulsion plant and spaces were not affected and remain fully operational.
The Sensex and the Nifty today closed with gains. Both indices gained more than 0.5% amid positive Asian cues. The Sensex reclaimed the 60,000 mark while the Nifty ended near 17,900 level. A report from the World of Business.
BSE Sensex climbed 381 points, a 0.64% to finish at 60,059. The NSE Nifty also surged 105 points, a 0.59% to settle at 17,895. In global equity markets, major Asian shares gained as attractive valuations in equity markets of the region attracted investors. Japan's Nikkei 225 climbed 1.3% and China Shanghai Composite Index gained 0.7%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng rose 0.6% and Singapore's Straits Times Index added 0.4%. South Korea's Kospi slipped marginally by 0.1%. European markets are mixed and trading in a narrow range in intraday trade. Brent crude prices rose around 0.5% to trade above $82 a barrel. In intraday trade, Brent crude was trading around $82.30 per barrel. Back home, gold prices rose 80 rupees at the multi-commodity exchange for December contracts. The precious metal was trading at 46,900 rupees per 10 grams. On the other hand, silver fell by 50 rupees to 61,210 rupees per kilogram for December contracts when reports last came in. At the foreign exchange market, the rupee weakened by 21 paise against the US dollar. The local currency settled at 74 rupees and 99 paise against the US currency. Arjun Chaudhary for World News, All India Radio.
Great.
In wrestling, Indian grappler Anshu Malik has scripted history as she became the first Indian woman to win a silver medal in World Wrestling Championships. Anshu lost to Olympic medalist Helen Maroulis of the USA 4-1 in the summit clash of women's 57 kg category at Oslo in Norway yesterday. Maroulis won the gold medal after her splendid show. Anshu Malik is a two-time Asian champion medalist, which includes gold and a ranking series silver medal.
Now let us take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in the foreign press. The New York Times writes U.S. employers added only 194,000 jobs in September as the Delta wave persisted. The Washington Post says Trump lawyer tells former aides to not cooperate with Jan. The Guardian writes Shia mosque bombing kills dozens in Afghan city of Kunduz. Financial Times writes, Evergrande shareholder to delist in Hong Kong contagion hits stock. Wall Street Journal reports Chinese companies have a head start using a cellular standard that the US only recently adopted.
A quick look at the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks to his newly elected Japanese counterpart, Fumio Kishida. Says looking forward to working with him to enhance cooperation in Indo-Pacific region. UK government reverses its quarantine policy on fully vaccinated Indian travellers. Tata Sons win bid for acquiring national carrier Air India for 18,000 crore rupees. Journalist Maria Ressa of Philippines and Dmitry Muratov of Russia win Nobel Peace Prize 2021. Prime Minister of Denmark Mette Frederiksen to arrive in India tomorrow on a 3-day visit. At least 50 people killed in a bomb blast in Afghanistan. And Anshu Malik becomes first Indian woman to win silver medal in World Wrestling Championships. India is celebrating the 152nd birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Before we end, let's listen to his favorite bhajan, Vaishnav Jan, by artists from Cyprus on their Unification Day. that, we end this bulletin. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.